Chapter 36. The Third Circle of the Underworld. The Demon Who Became Divine. Whenever I got low, it seemed the fairy could say something to pick me up. Why, just a glance at her, and the golden, luminous glow felt like I'd taken a drink from a healing cup. I want to trust this path, but how can we go on? Every step we go lower, I fear what could go wrong.
In order to grow, the soul may need to separate itself from which it once relied upon. Oppression will be overcome. Do not cling to what has been. Sometimes, the best way to heal from the past is to cut it off completely and focus on inner regeneration and reorientation towards a more fulfilling future. You shall know true love and freedom,
said the fairy. My gaze was down. My shoulders were curled forward. Had I lost my purpose? What were we even walking towards?
I know you're tired, but you didn't come this far for nothing,
said the fairy. What am I doing here? Look at me. I've lost my spark and my personality. I feel like a shell of myself. What has become of me?
Don't let anyone confuse your personality with your attitude. The personality is who you are, and your attitude depends on how you are. There is only one of you in the whole world,
said the golden fairy. But my broken heart, I cannot explain how tender I feel. Can we just slow down and stop so that I have time to heal?
The broken will always be able to love harder than most, because once you've been in the dark, you learn to appreciate everything that shines, said the golden fairy.
Here we are. We've arrived at the third circle of the underworld,
said the dragon named Satan. As I looked up, I managed to bring my body in a regal posture. I took a breath in, then a breath out, but it was even darker while I held on to the love I had for our world. There before us were hundreds of thousands of demons. They were trapped in this lair, and they appeared to be in immense suffering, all for unknown reasons. Each demon held a body of form, but they were closer to humanoid rats, insects, or bugs. If I had to guess, these were the ones who failed the test from Vaughn in the second layer above. It looked like they had given into fear and aggression. Surely, they had lost sight of the beloved. And so it barely mattered what I observed in their bodies or minds, but rather, I noticed their vacant hearts, empty of love.
Simple task here,
laughed the dragon.
If you think you can find the secret kingdom, in order to descend lower, you must tame one of them.
Tame one?
Yes. In order to continue your search, if you truly think you're going to find the hidden kingdom, I want you to convert a demon and have it bow down to you out of love, said the dragon.
That's not fair. These demons are here because they've lost their love. It's not up to us to change their karma, but rather, that is up to one of them. How is he supposed to create light where light does not exist?
Said the fairy.
Aha,
laughed the dragon.
That's why they call it magic. Think of this as a very special task, and I want to see you do this, because if you're truly worthy, you shall prove to me why you hold the sword called Excalibur. Surely a true king could convert a demon to follow him, but only if you are telling the truth, and so you'll get one demon to bow if you indeed know the path to the secret kingdom,
said the dragon. I walked into the masses of demons, and they were timid and terrified. It seemed that not only were these beings truly broken, but they were haunted as if the light of their souls had died. Upon their heads, they had many faces within, like smaller heads growing out from their main head, as if this was not a single life of pain, but many lifetimes were combined of all their sins. I felt pity and compassion, and so I extended out my hand, but by the mere gesture, I caught them off guard when I frightened all of them. These beings began scurrying away, running to hide in the corners. Of course, they could only see fear, and so they treated me as if I was a threatening foreigner. My mind was still scattered, as I had endured my own path to find this place, and so I lowered my body to the earth while I became humble as I began to prostrate. Over and over, I bowed my body flat. I wanted to humble myself to the inner world, to prove to these demons that I was no threat. Then, without a clue of what to do, I sat down in the middle of the third circle of the underworld. There I felt into the heartbreak I had recently experienced as I embraced this immense weight while I used curiosity to explore wonder. If I felt broken, then I too had something in common with them. The only difference is that I was able to find the light of love, but these creatures only knew fear, and they had lost the light within. These beings were not damned, but they were demonic beings. It was not a matter of making them bow, but rather to help them open their hearts so that love could be freed. As I sat still in contemplation, I peered around this inner cavern in observation. My mind would wonder about their lives, and it appeared that every one of their eyes and faces looked at me as if they too were wondering. Some time passed. Now my shoulders relaxed, and in times of pure darkness, even stillness can submit in hopes that maybe the light will emerge at last. But after more and more time passed, the horde of demons were still very much uptight, and so I spent much time wondering about how to share the heart's inner light. Their faces were always upon me, watching my every move, and I still had yet to speak a word, but their senses were extremely heightened from all their pain and abuse. Could they hear what I was thinking? I guess I would have to check. And so I thought of an idea, and so I decided to conduct a test. First, I reached into my pocket, then I decided to break bread. I split a bit of bread in half. There I left one piece on the ground for one of them. A few of these lost souls turned their heads, as if they were curious about food. I looked at one of them in particular and signaled for him to take it, while my mind space thought, "Yes, this is for you." The one I looked at scuttered away, as if he could hear my mind. Well, this was progress. They were tuning into the thought waves as symbols and signs. And since the situation was so tragic, what if I brought them something they would enjoy? And so I decided that I would go through my memory bank and tell jokes in case they could feel joy. Mind you, I never spoke a word, but they seemed to be following the feelings within my mind. I wondered if they could hear what I was thinking, even if their hearts were somehow blind. And so I thought as I looked at one of the demons in particular. What did the horse say after it tripped? The demon turned its head because it sensed I was talking to it. The horse said, "Help! I've fallen and I can't giddy up." Now the demon turned its head the other way, as if he had heard my mental words. It seemed these demons tuned into the mind stream, but still they were so scared. I gazed at another and asked it with my thought vibrations, as if I was sending it a personal call. Why was Cinderella so bad at soccer? The demon perked up, as if he was quite interested. She kept running away from the ball. I saw that demon move an inch closer. The demon was keen on what jokes I was thinking. Nothing else changed, but I sensed this was the beginning to a heart opening. My mind thought to the soul demon, who seemed to be intent on listening. What do you call a well-balanced horse? It tilted its head in wonder. Stable. Again it moved a step closer.
What's happening here?
Asked the dragon.
You better shut the hell up,
said the fairy. Again I focused on a gentle gaze at the receptive demon with a smile as he paused without taking another step towards me. What do you call an angry carrot? I pondered. Again the demon tilted its head. A steamed veggie. It was then that I saw one of its many faces smile. Why, yes, a tiny sense of joy came forth that it hadn't felt in such a long while. Now the demon took 2 steps closer, but the others stayed far back. The rest were like sheep that followed one another, but this one was like a black sheep about to leave the pack. Where do polar bears keep their money? I sent out a thought vibration, and the demon turned its head in curiosity. In a snowbank. Now the fairy giggled, but the dragon remained confused. The demon took 3 steps forward and took a glance at the bread I had left in view. What would bears be without bees? I paused. Ears. The demon didn't move, but maybe that joke was too complex. Okay, on to the next. What do you call a pile of cats? I thought with my mind. The demon turned its head. A meowton. Now he took 4 steps ahead, and he was only 10 or so steps away. This was the only demon who was beginning to conquer his fears that made him so afraid. But I was running out of jokes, and I didn't know what to do. Oh, white buffalo, white buffalo, white buffalo, there must be help you can send through. And in my intuition, I heard the white buffalo whisper,
Remind me again. Now who are you?
I'm a storyteller, I thought. Aha! I heard an eagle cry out from within, and there I looked up overhead, as if I could feel the bird that had come to soar. Even the demon followed my sight to the top of the cavern, but it could not see what we were looking for. All it took was an imaginary glance when I remembered a certain fable, and so the great bird spoke through me when I closed my eyes and told the story to the demon when I pictured the story of the chickens who raised the eagle. Once upon a time, an eagle egg fell from its mother's nest and was found by a farmer who took the egg home to keep it safe. And so the farmer's hen sat on this egg until the young eagle hatched, and then the baby bird was raised among chickens. As its life begins, the glorious creature forgets that it's an eagle. Of course, since the baby eagle is surrounded by chickens, the baby eagle forgets its true nature, and instead, the grand bird lives its life searching the ground for grub. Despite loving its chicken coop and the flock, as the eagle begins to grow, it feels a strange stir in its spirit towards something more. Then one day, it sees an odd but mighty bird flying freely high up above. This great bird above soars with power and confidence, far beyond the range of any chicken or dove. What is that? Asked the young eagle. That's the king of the birds, an eagle. He belongs to the sky. But since we're chickens, we belong to the earth, says the mother hen. Now the grounded eagle has 2 choices. In one choice, the eagle lives out its life safely in that coop, never reclaiming its full essence, always assuming it is in fact a chicken. But there is another choice, and here, the bird goes off in search of answers and comes across a lake when it sees its own reflection. There it recognizes the eagle within for what it is. At first, the eagle resists and returns to the chicken coop safely set upon the earth. The next day, it goes out and tries to fly the first time, but it never even leaves the ground. The second day, it goes out again to fly, but as soon as it takes off, it returns in fear of the giant clouds above. But upon that night, before the 3rd day, the young eagle had a dream of a mountaintop and was reminded of the mighty skies. On the 3rd day, the eagle flaps its wings to soar. From that, the eagle has never returned, and all it leaves behind is a mighty cry. My eyes were closed as I told this story. Now tears welled up around my eyes. I felt connected to these demons, because what hope was left for me, and I didn't know what was left to try. It is said that the young eagle flew to the mountaintops. There it met another eagle, who was the king over the entire forest canopy. From this we learn that we must take great risks if we are to unite with our true soul's family. And so it said that birds of a feather flock together. Then I heard a whisper, as if this voice spoke right in front of me, as if my great ancestors had come to visit. I couldn't believe I heard a real voice. But who was it? I opened my eyes, and the demon was right in front of me. Is it bad luck that this has happened to me? No, it is my good luck that although this happened to me, I can bear it without pain, neither crushed by the present nor fearful of the future, because such a thing could have happened to any man, but not every man could have bore it without pain. So why see more misfortune in the event than good fortune in the ability to bear it? Asked the demon. I was in shock that the demon was before me. Now its heart glowed as it had spoken those words freely. The demon bowed down to the ground, and the dragon was astonished of what this demon had just gone through. This demon touched my feet and said, "It is now my duty to follow you." A moment later, he transformed, and rather than appear as a hideous demon, he reclaimed a divine form. He was a protector and guide, for his spiritual light had not died. He was reborn. "Feel my heart, it's full of light," said the divine being as he took my hand upon its chest. "Today, my soul is alive.